On this episode of Delivering Marketing Joy, we talk to Adam Walterscheid about when co-branding makes sense and the power of differentiation. Meow. Welcome to another edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. I am your host, Kirby Hasseman, and I'm very excited today to be joined by Adam Walterscheid. Now, Adam is the owner and CEO, head guy in charge of T-Shirt Tycoon, and he was actually just recently named Entrepreneur of the Year by ASI here in the promotional products industry. So, A, congratulations, and B, thanks for being with us, Adam. I appreciate it.
Kirk, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to join you today. It's always an honor to represent the industry and be thought of as thought leader within it. Appreciate it.
No problem. Absolutely. You know, in learning a little bit more about your company, it seems like I keep thinking of the word differentiation. I think you'd agree with that. Why do you think it's important to stand out in this industry or really any industry?
Well, I studied economics in school, and one of the major things I learned in economics was competitive advantages. And I think point of differentiation is just another way to say, competitive advantage. And competitive advantages stack up in any industry you're in, much less in the branded business. Branded business to me, we look at taking someone's brand, keeping brand identification while offering them the best product we can. And I think there's three things in a wearable that does that differentiates it. One is going to be clearly the retail quality garment. Two is going to be paired with a soft hand that holds brand integrity. And three is going to be giving the client their own brand within the neck. And I think all of those things add up to be the closet, not the drawer.
You mentioned the closet versus the drawer, and we talked a little bit about that before we started here. And I love that when you're talking about the quality of shirts. But what are some questions about quality that people or organizations should consider when doing a promotion?
Well, I think it's key to know the terms between quality of cotton. Really, the promotional piece is called carded or open-end, and Bella Canvas has the campaign NOCO, and really that's no more carded open-end cotton. At T-Tycoon, we call it promotional versus retail, and one is carded versus ring spun. When you're on a retail space or retail shelf, you're only going to really see ring spun, and so we like to make sure that ring spun is represented in your line.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels like, kind of off the, it feels like when you as an organization are doing a promotion, you want your brand to be represented by quality. And so that's an important conversation to have.
Yeah, most definitely. When you're out there and you're picking a garment for your client, you've got to really think through what is Gildan and its perceived value in the marketplace versus any of the other brands. I really call that co-branding. Really, the private label perspective is one that's different. It allows your client to build the perceived value that they want their audience to understand the brand perception in. And so private label is one that, in the branded business, I think it has to speak to, the quality of the garment that they want, along with how they want their brand executed on the garment. And then clearly, some people could make the claim that the smallest imprint makes the biggest difference. And that's what we believe here at T-Tycoon. The private label brand does speak volume.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that was kind of my final question with you is, your business is built on private label. So why should organizations care about that when they're building their brand?
Well, I think at the end of the day, you can go about and say, what does your brand have to do with the Gildan? What does it have to do with the jersey? And really, what is that saying to the audience that's receiving it? And that's really where we came up with the closet versus the drawer. Because I know where it goes in my bedroom, and I think I know where it goes in most people's, and so the difference between the closet and the drawer is the quality of impression that garment receives and the return on investment that your client gets in putting their money in that garment. And so, when we talk about the closet versus the drawer, we're really talking about the quality of impression and how many times it comes out. When it comes out of the closet, it's 20 plus impressions worn around town, to church, high school football game, versus pulled out of the drawer that may get touched 0 to 5 times and gets kind of laid around the house, washing the car, mowing the yard.
All right, Adam, you've answered my 3 questions. I give everybody the opportunity to ask me one question. Do you have one queued up for me?
I do, Kirby. As a fellow corporate markets distributor, focused on brand identity needs of your clients, When would it not make sense to hold your trade secrets from your competitors within a product item category by always taking a private label approach?
No, it's a great point and a great question, Adam. I think that frankly, not all distributors think of it that way, and I'll say that I'm the first to be guilty of that sometimes, right? That you're like, okay, I've just always bought Gildan or I've always done Bella, and I think the reason people don't do it might be from a convenience or a this is what we've always done thing. I think there's huge advantages to private labeling, and so I love that. On the other side, I guess you asked when would it not be appropriate, and I think that's when your idea is co-branding. You've decided, look, I want the XYZ Corporation to be on a shirt with the Nike logo because those two, like, I think that it tells a story about the brand. I think in my head that's when it makes sense to co-brand, as you were kind of calling it, with different brands that are high end, if it were. But
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
That's when we at T Tycoon. That's when we strategize with our distributors and really draw that line in the sand. They usually will have an Under Armour and Nike that they want to associate their brand with, and then slide in with the private label perceived value. Sometimes it's to save a few dollars. Sometimes it's actually a good thing that they co-brand and put their brand on a pedestal next to an Under Armour. I think that's when the strategy really comes into play.
yeah. I mean, I think when you look at the successful sponsorships, whether it's within our industry or across marketing, I think that the best brands partner with personalities or with different companies that just make sense for them, right? I mean, Tiger Woods at one point had an elite kind of name and brand, whereas maybe Peyton Manning seems to kind of position himself as an everyman. And I think that you just need to be smart kind of within your own brand about the ways that you go about that, if that makes sense.
It does. The perceived value is different for everyone.
Yeah.
But within corporate markets, I think the larger the brand, the more there is co-branding.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting in this business. I see a much more fluent co-branding approach than I do a private label approach, and we're out fighting the fight every day of bringing private label to be a real strategy within corporate markets.
Cool. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you taking the time, and we'll have to do it again sometime, Adam. Appreciate it.
Kirby, it's a pleasure as always. Thank you so much.
That's cool. All right. Well, that wraps up another edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. Until next time, we'll see you. Hey, thanks for watching, but wait! Can you do me a favor? Please subscribe to my channel. If you haven't done it already, the way to do it's right over here. And hey, if you want to watch the last episode, check that out over here. Again, before you leave, subscribe!